brothers and sisters, generals, family, regents and teachers that's doing what they got to do to keep that righteous foundation strong and firm, because it can be challenging, especially in these times. That's why we do things like this. I call it self-therapy. And I always and forever got to give that honor to thy ancestors, those who fought hard through tooth and nail with the least amount of tools. And that was brother or sister that sacrificed before all this social media shit to get a lot of us in that great divine space that we are in. And that's leaders and teachers, that's students, children, brothers and sisters all over the world or online. Because I'm telling you, when you have figured yourself out, and this is current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that views, salute. May that great divine bliss or bless you in your life. And I appreciate you. Anyone that listens, comments to anything I upload, we got to be grateful and have gratitude, because that builds and cultivates that positive energy deep within. And as always, I have to give a salute to 5+ VE. You guys will hear me mention this from time to time, every other podcast or video, because got to keep that promise to that brother and that sister. I said I will support them. And I will be investing more money into them in any black business that someone is, trying to grow with. That's what we got to do, because and we do all these positive things, not because it sound cool or it's something cool to do or it's a fad, because great things always and forever will come back when we do righteous in the what? The present, the art of anticipation. So we won't be caught off guard in the what? The future. So that's why we had that divine spirit. I'm going to get to it here in a minute. But stuff like this leads you to doing great things, So salute again, 5+ VE. And I think on the last video I made about, it was a visual I showed myself, because every now and then I show my face, just to let the people see me, And like I said, 5+ VE. And I said in that video, it's called, the title of it, I just did it a couple days ago. We are who we choose to be. That video. And I said email. That's a correction. It's actually a website or a link. I said that wrong, but it's again, it's at 5creativehouse.com, at 5creativehouse.com. And I have another podcast on here. We'll have more in the description of it, the phone number and all that stuff. But that's the website. And again, I will mention it from time to time. So, you can check that link out at 5creativehouse.com. And there's some wonderful brother and sister. It's wonderful when we can, meet those lights in our circle. And that's in our families too. It's wonderful. Our children, it's wonderful, man. But we have to go through the what, brothers and sisters? As we all know, you have to go through those layers. You gotta get to the pit of that soul and get rid of all that trash shit that we have carried throughout the years, because it is impossible to come into our great self without digging that shit that we have deep, and I mean deep within. And, everybody walk is different, brother or sister. Sometimes it's kind of for me, because it was a challenge for me, when you're not aware, you can have a lot of stuff buried deep within. But it's wonderful when we finally get to the thick of the matter and we see things come into fruition. We see, great things in ourselves, of course, righteous ripple effect. We start seeing great things in ourselves, and then that positive energy that we have cultivated, however long it takes, because sometimes it takes a long time, sometimes even a lifetime, brothers and sisters. That's real talk. It could take a lifetime to finally get to a divine space, but don't wait too late, So time waits for no man, no woman, no brother or sister, because you'll hear me say 1,000 times that great divine Mother Nature is the author of patience and time, created this whole universe. So waste your time if you want to, and that great divine will give us signs. To give everybody signs. I mean all cultures, but those who can get close to the sun, unfortunately melanated, we get a little, I don't know how to explain it. You have to experience it. But if you melanated, you definitely can tap into that divine spirit. That's just, and if you have a question about melanation, or how much you have, and all that, all I can tell you is do your research, or that's something you have to take to that great divine. The great divine made individuals the way they are. Great divine loves variety. It loves positive energy, but it also, that positive energy can come subtle or aggressive, and it comes in tests. So forgive me, that was like a thought intro, and I'll get to the title. Again, brothers and sisters, it can take a lifetime. But when we have a divine spirit, it can't be wavered, stopped, or broken. I'm going to say that again. A divine spirit can't be wavered, stopped, or broken. When we invest in it, we have to invest in it. I made a podcast about that a few days ago, about investing in our divine abilities. And that's mind, body, and soul, see, hear, and feel, and the psyche. Because always remember, brothers and sisters, I think this is the vital tool to have on a divine walk. Study our psyche. And as I said, you hear me talk about that psyche probably every video. You hear it in songs, every other podcast, because that is the root to a lot of individuals' dysfunction. That psyche, brothers and sisters, and thinking things that are normal that are not. That's what we got to get out of. That old mindset we always talk about, re-educate ourselves, even reinvent ourselves somewhat, but in a positive way, not to impress or be something we're not. We just get rid of the old self and step into that God self, the real God now, the one that keep us from doing toxic things and keep us studying, and know that when we get to a certain position or foundation in our lives that we have fought to, we be humble about, we know what we know, and we be humble about the things we don't know. Never get in a space where we think we know everything. Keep learning. That way we won't be wavered, stopped, or broken. And, and this relates to relationships, being rejected. I'm talking about like being rejected by the opposite sex. And this could be brother or sister. But I'm going to speak on a single brother's point of view. And I would say maybe up in age, we'll say from 40. We'll say from, I'll say between 20s throughout the 50s and beyond. But I'm just in that age frame. And, I'll maybe give a couple experiences and place my little views and things that helped a lot of us. Why do you think we got so many reachers and teachers out here? Because we're not afraid to deal with that shit within. Because in order to get to the strong part of yourself, you got to deal with the weak part of ourselves. You just got to be real with ourselves. It don't mean we weak. It just we have little areas that we're not aware of, that we have to pinpoint and work on. Look at ourselves as a project, just like a car. You got to clean that oil. You got to check them fluids every now and then. Do a reassessment on ourselves. I always like to say assess and reset and get our asses back on board, so we can see the things we need to see and don't be blinded, especially within ourselves. And I want to give an example. And, I always say keep a family spirit. And, we have to stay locked into that great divine zone. And, as we all know, especially those of us that are locked in, I mean really locked into this walk and reaching and teaching, because we have been through the fire. Now we want to teach that fire to others, our leaders and teachers. I always like to say that. Don't ever think that you are a follower. We are not damn followers. Remember, we got to change that damn narrative. That's the way we can override devilish thoughts, devilish things, or something escalating or getting out of control. We have to pay attention to our psyche, even in split-second situations. And I'm going to give an example of that. This might be one example. If I can think of another one, I'll give another one. But this can relate to a lot of things. Those impulses, brothers and sisters, toxic, wrong impulses. What do I always say? One wrong, toxic impulse, and it can be just for a second, can fuck up our whole lives. Forgive me for the profanity, but gotta keep it real. That's why we watch our impulses. And our great divine will be right there with us. It tests us. It'll test us on many things. It depends on where we are in our level of self-awareness. How that great divine test us. It can test us in our finances. That divine can test us in lusting. It can test us in, in appreciating a brother or sister that has success. And I mean in their mind, not just in their lives. Because I'll say again and again, the body always follow the mind. So in any event, if you're healthy, nothing wrong with you, and you're not handicapped, brother or sister, and you're somewhat aware, you know what I'm saying? There is no excuses. There is no excuses. That great divine will bring that hammer down. Block up, court adjourned. So let's just do right so we can see right things come. Because when we do righteous in the present, always and forever, benefit us in that divine future. And I want to speak on split-second impulses and playing out scenarios and deflecting toxic impulses, 3-second impulses, how it can save our lives. Mind, body, and soul. And like I said, I'm going to go back just a little bit before I give this example. That divine, because I want to put emphasis on this, what the divine tests us on. Like I say, do a invoice on our lives, what we do, check our bad points. That's what that divine will test us on, because it wants to clean all that crap out. Mother Nature wants us as natural as we can possibly be. That force knows we're not perfect. We got to keep that in mind. That force knows that. That's why it does certain things and sometimes send different individuals in our lives to bring stuff up out of us. Because brothers and sisters, trust me, I've come across teachers, and I'm talking about online, and my family too. My mom and I have had deep discussions, and she's wise, That's why I say we can't get in the spirit of thinking we know everything. If we're just having a regular discussion with someone about something, maybe politics or religion or something personal. If you got two parties, and this could be brother or sister, or you're talking to a family member, and you're talking about something, and you're both level-headed, it'll be a good conversation. It won't go to the left and all that stuff. That's why we have to pay attention to those divine attributes we have within, and we study ourselves. Because I'm going to go back to the test. Great Divine will test us. Like I said, either finances, how we act as a person, lust, how positive we are, if we mean what we say. That Great Divine will send tests our way. And I was getting ready to say, also will send brothers and sisters in our lives. And that could be family members, teachers we listen to online, That's why I say I made a podcast saluting platforms that help one. I love platforms that make me or anyone that make us deal with ourselves. I want to deal with myself. I want to get in there and dig that shit out. I want to learn oneself. Again, folks, doesn't always have to be a traumatic thing. It's all about how we look at oneself. Learning ourselves can be fun. It can be amazing because there are a lot of great things that's hidden in a lot of us. We just have to take the time and invest in them. Okay. So I want to get to the example. I said all that for a reason, to get to this example. And, I go see my son and his siblings and, the mother of my child, and we're not together. I am single, but we got a good rapport going. We're communicating, and it's good. It wasn't easy to get to this state that we're in. We've been around each other for the last 9-10 years, so we kind of know each other now. We've gotten over the petty things, and sometimes you just got to take a break and step back. And, I've talked about abstinence. Some people say celibacy. I say abstinence. It's kind of the same thing. But abstinence also relates to, a drug habit or an addiction. It relates to that, too, because we have to cut off all addictions, too, because that's a distraction of seeing that divine spirit. So I've been abstinence. I bring up this podcast I made. Abstinence can help you see the inner core of lust. And that's not of just lusting like sexual. That's lust for money, lust for attention, lust for thinking we know everything and not listening, because we have to listen. We're never going to learn if we don't listen. I'm talking about the righteous things. And I'm telling you, we'll have so many aha moments. So I go over there and be with the kids, and I eat dinner sometimes and watch TV. And before I finish, I've been abstinent it's 8 months now, and it's wonderful. That's a part of studying oneself. You have to step back out of things, because I did kind of have a challenge with, lusting. I'm talking about years ago, a long time ago, not now. But now it's like I don't even care. I got 5 kids, brothers and sisters, by 5 different baby mothers. That should tell you right there. And not like I'm bragging, but I've done all the fantasies. I've done all that, been with women. It's just, sex doesn't mean anything to me anymore. What means more to me is keep myself right so I can help those in my circle, family, children, significant other if we have one. Anyone listening, that's what it's about, passing around that positive energy of experiences of life that we have learned. So I go over there. I was over there yesterday, actually, and I pretty much go every weekend because we don't stay together, and I go over there on the weekends, and kick it with my son and his siblings, and, and we just hang out, and talk, and sometimes we go to the park. Sometimes we just sit at her house, and I took some recorded some footage yesterday, and my son was out playing football, and I was trying to get some outside footage. And I was with him yesterday, and they were cooking. They were making dinner, and needed something from the store, so I went to the store to get it. And my son, he rides with me. He liked to ride with me on our little trips. I like our little trips together. And all his siblings, we take trips in the van sometimes to go places, store, park, stuff like that. So we went to the park yesterday, and this actually happened twice. And you know how you go to a store and you park, and it's not really at the curb, but almost, but it's not enough for another car to park behind you. And we went to the store, came back out, and there was two young brothers pulled up behind me, and I got a van. They had a van also. And when I went to back up, sometimes you're in the van, you can't see, but I didn't expect no one to pull up behind me because it really wasn't room to park, So, but the brothers, there was two brothers, they might have been waiting for me to pull off, and I just didn't see them. So I backed into them, but it wasn't it was just like a boom, but it wasn't nothing to dent or wreck nothing. And, this right here, this is what I'm saying. This is why we should study ourselves and have the art of anticipation and study our impulses, because we will be tested. You know what I'm saying? We will get tested. That's why it's important to pay attention to ourselves and our children, other things too, but especially ourselves. So I bumped into the gentleman. I was like, first thing in our mind, as we all do, like, oh Lord, my son looked at me, but I didn't get nervous and I wasn't aggressive. I didn't get scared. I didn't do none of that. Kept a cool head, jumped out the van, went back and talked to him. He said, man, you hit me. I said, brother, I didn't see you. I didn't even know you was back there. I didn't mean to hit you. So, and, he said, well, and he wasn't really aggressive. I commend the brother. He was a young brother too. And we know how a lot of our young melanated young brothers can be. They can be hotheads. So I commend this brother. He wasn't too much of a hothead. He was kind of, you could see it in his face. He almost wanted to go there, but because of my demeanor, he didn't go there. And that's what I'm talking about, brothers and sisters. Energy is real. I know we hear a lot of us talk about energy, but when you experience it, that's when you know that it's important to work on ourselves. Impulses, brothers and sisters, impulses. Work on them. That is the most important thing on this divine walk, because a divine spirit can be wavered, stopped, or broken. Okay, then let's go back to that example I'm giving. Now, he was, like I said, he was beginning, I could see it in his face. We can feel energy. Even if sometimes we don't study those things, melanated brothers and sisters, we just have an intuition in our DNA. We just got to know how to be aware of it and practice it, not use it for nothing bad. But, and, he didn't get too hyped up. And at first he wanted the information. And I don't want to go too much into it, but what I was supposed to have, I don't have. But I was going to give him my license plate, not my license, but my license. And I was going to give him the information for it. He said, well, just give me some cheese, he said cheese. I don't never say cheese. That's the way he talking about money. So, I just went on ahead and I didn't hand him a lot of money, but I just gave him a little bit because I bumped his car, whatever. And my son was there too. So that's another reason. He was sitting in the van. So we see, that's what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. We have to play out scenarios when we get into situations like this. And this is just one. There are many situations that blow up like this. So I wouldn't, because great divine, when you're responsible, and I'm gonna tell you something that's amazing, brothers and sisters. We can start working ourselves, this brother or sister, anyone in the world or online. We can begin to work on ourselves and study ourselves and lose ourselves in positivity. We become so passionate, we don't even realize that we have gotten better. You know what I mean? We be so busy trying to get better and better, but we already be better because the great divine will test us and show us. And, we can be doing something. We can be walking with that divine our whole lives just for one moment. And that's what I felt like. I felt like everything that I do, everything that I have learned, everything that I teach to others or others have taught me, it was all for that moment that I came into yesterday. And I'm going to tell you why. Because now let's flip that. Now, I made it positive and I flipped it around and made sure that it didn't escalate. And remember, folks, it's not about ego. It's not about that. Remember, what we do righteous in the present, well, what? I don't even have to say it. Fill in the blank. So that's why we have to stop and think and watch our impulses. Now let's flip it. What if I would have been different? What if I wouldn't have been self-aware? And he was somewhat aware too, fortunately, he was aware. I could tell he was kind of aware too. Again, he was going off my energy. Because if I would have got out the van, man, I didn't know you was back there. What the F you doing? See, immediately he would have reacted. And then boom. And how I know if that brother wasn't carrying a gun, I didn't think about that. I was just thinking about, I hit him. I didn't know. It was an honest mistake. He knew I didn't do it on purpose. Now, if I would have got out huffing and puffing, remember, my son was in the van. We have to think, brothers and sisters. And who knows? Might see that brother later on. He'll remember that. That's what divine positive energy is all about. And again, I didn't waver, and I just was a man-to-man with him. And, I gave him a little kid. Like I said, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a whole bunch of money. I just gave him some money to kind of ease his mind. You know what I mean? And just, and stabilize the situation so it don't escalate and get out of control. Again, son in the van. You know what I mean? And my son don't need no unalive dad. You know what I mean? So we have to think beyond ourselves. So the situation ended up working out. That's that scenario I gave you. It could have went south. That's why we play out those scenarios. I made a podcast. Scenarios can save our lives. Mind, body, and soul. See, hear, and feel. So you better work on that psyche. It's vital in our lives. And that was a pivotal point. Like I say, we can be working on that divine spirit our whole freaking life just for one moment. I'm telling you, it can almost take a lifetime to get oneself right. But when we do, it's beautiful. So, my young brothers and sisters, don't waste time. Get yourself right now. I'm telling you, just never know what'll come along. Like that story I gave when I went to work one day and there was no check. How many of us have experienced that? So again, that's why we have to be ready and look for those divine signs, So, and I did. I felt some kind of way about that situation, but when we assess and we observe and we really think of how the outcome could have been, it was for the best, and there was no courts involved, with no cops, nobody was fighting or arguing. He went on his way, I went my way, and he even deleted, because I did give him my information, my license, but he deleted it because I gave him some money, and he did it right in front of me. He said, I'm deleting it right now, and he went on, and I went on. It's all about energy, brothers and sisters. It's not no joke. It really isn't. That's why you hear so many of us. I'm telling you, some of your most strongest, unapologetic, righteous brothers and sisters that are reachers and teachers out here. We all have experienced moments like that. Some of us experienced it a lot. Some of it not so much. Some of it worse than others. But I'm telling you, that's the most powerful thing and the best gift and the best thing one can do for oneself. When you study yourself, because again, a divine spirit can't be wavered, stopped, or broken when we work on them. So, and again, we are leaders and teachers. We are not followers with a student spirit. And we're going to have another meditative moment. And I want to read a summary, and I want to break down having a divine spirit. And anyone can have this. It's a special thing, but it's not nothing that none of us can have. You just have to take the time, whether it's speaking, you speaking by yourself. And I always say, set the tone in the morning, every morning, every day, have a meditative moment to yourself, whatever that is, really get in tune, stop playing, real talk. So we can see great things come about within ourselves, our children, family, the example I just talked about, the brother, because in that moment, brothers and sisters, I showed him something. Again, we never know what's going to come down the road as a human, but that great divine always knows. So do yourself a favor, brothers and sisters, I'm fumbling, current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view, do yourself a favor, study yourself divinely. All right, let's go into this summary, All right, here we go. What is the meaning of a divine spirit? It is emulating, but I don't like that word emulating. So we're going to say parallel, but I'm going to read what's on here. All right. It is emulating the godly or divine attributes of showing compassion, extending kindness, holding back anger, sharing patience, driving away the darkness with light, and replacing despair with hope or positive energy. I'm going to read that again. A divine spirit, it is emulating the godly attributes or divine attributes of showing compassion is important, extending kindness or extending positive energy, like that example I just gave. Extending kindness, holding back anger. That's an important one. Wrong anger, toxic anger. Now, we can have a righteous anger to the wicked things of the world. But when it comes to like the situation the example I just gave, holding back anger is very vital. Deal with ourselves. See where that anger is coming from, or any type of wrong feeling we don't need. Study that shit. I'm serious. Okay, sharing patience. That's another thing I did with that brother, and driving away the darkness with light and replacing it with despair, replacing despair with hope and positive energy. So if I said that wrong the first time I read it, forgive me. And replacing despair, replacing it. So we get rid of the dark shit and replace it with the light. So that's what I did with that brother. I held back anger. I really wasn't angry, to be honest, and those experiences like that, when we have 1, 2, or 3, that helps us develop, that divine spirit deep within. And again, that's just one isolated incident that happened before, but I didn't hit the person, and it was the same scenario. But this other time it happened, the guy was a little more aggressive. But again, my energy toned him down. So we just see, and able to do this, we have to take ego out the way. We have to work on our self-esteem issues if we have any. And I used to have them, and that ego thing, that's what get us. That's why we, unfortunately, brothers, end up becoming unalive, and stuff like that. So that's why we have to work on ourselves. Look at the bigger picture, play out the scenario, and we can live another day. Like they said, and like the father said in that movie Friday, real talk. We can live to fight another day, So that's why we do that. But at the same time, now we do have to defend ourselves too. Now, because I try to stay away from the negative, but we also have to have reality. Now there are times where we will have to let individuals know where we stand, but the best way we can, brothers and sisters, especially if we have children, we have things we're working for, we have to play out those scenarios too. But at the same time, we do have to defend ourselves. And if I am, if one is in front of one's son, and I do have to defend and might have to go physically, I will go there too. But we do it with a divine mind, not in a way of, I'm going to fight and show how I'm tough, or I'm a gangster. No, it's not that. It's not about being tough. It's not about being no gangster. It's about being true to oneself. But if it comes to the physical, but that should be the last resort of everything. But if it comes to that, hey, it comes to that, because a righteous brother or sister has the right to defend themselves. But let's teach one. We teach one, we reach one. I know that's kind of cliche, but that's what I felt like yesterday. And I'm telling you, one person at a time, righteous ripple effect. So again, a divine spirit can't be wavered, stopped, or broken. When we study it, brothers and sisters, my family, reachers and teachers, current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view, man, the best way we can, brothers and sisters, please study that spirit deep within. Study our psyche. I'm telling you, that kind of opened my eyes to that what happened yesterday. Again, I went in my little human feelings and felt this way and felt that way because, but I'm teaching my son, I want him to be tough too, but also understanding and not just fighting off of impulses. So that's what I wanted to show him. But we also have to be strong for our sons, our brothers. I'm sure it's not brothers already know this, but I'm just, just giving one's perspective. We do have to be strong. We can't let people walk all over us, and our sons do need to see this, but being strong is not always a physical thing. They also can see us being strong mentally, and I explained that to him. He's seen, so, we just got to keep chipping away at brothers and sisters and our children and those that, are young. We got to let them know what a man is all about, not just the physical all the time. But sometimes, as I said, every now and then, you do have to let an individual know where we stand. But we have to be careful, because We never know what's going on in the individual's mind. So yesterday, when that happened, it could have went a whole nother way. But guess what, brothers and sisters? And it's not just me. It's many great brothers and sisters out here that think just like this, as well as in our families. Because as I say, and I say it again, brothers and sisters, be thankful if you have a divine spirit. Because a divine spirit can't be wavered, stopped, nor broken. So salute to the next one, and stay strong out there. And, let nothing ever stop what we fought so hard to get. My reachers and teachers, my family, my children, stay with it. We never know what's in this human body, but that great divine always knows. So you just got to remember, a strong, when you have studied yourself and went through the layers, and you're unstoppable in your thinking, and you don't let nobody stop you from having a positive impact in this world, man, great divine spirit, man, a divine spirit can't be wavered, stopped, or broken. Salute.